Hey friends, welcome to part 2 of our trip to Kauai. If you didn't catch part 1, we arrived to the island, did some exploring of the North Shore, and backpacked Waimea Canyon. Definitely go check it out if you haven't yet. After our day of hiking out of the canyon and our evening checking out the turtles at Poipu Beach, we awoke the next morning at our campsite and headed out for a day on the water with Blue Ocean Adventures. Blue Ocean offers a variety of different tours on different types of boats. We opted for their Zodiac Raft tour, which consisted of us sitting on the sides of the boat, holding onto a rope, zipping in and out of sea caves, and we made a stop for lunch and snorkeling partway through. This cave was called the Open Ceiling Cave, formed from a hollowed-out lava tube. The ceiling of the cave collapsed, and that is now the rock resting in the middle of the water. Fun fact, Mary J. Blige shot a music video standing on this rock. After exploring some caves, we paused to watch a group of spinner dolphins as they swam under, next to, and all around our boat. This is a memory that will stay with me forever, watching them surface inches from my hand and jump and spin out of the water. It was incredible. We could have stayed and watched the dolphins all day, but we continued on along the coast and popped into one more cave. Before heading to shore for lunch and snorkeling, we got to jump off the boat right in front of the infamous cathedral cliffs of the Na Pali Coast, which was so cool.
2, 1, jump!
I'm not a good or steady enough snorkeler to get great underwater footage, but we saw a good number of really cool fish here. This huge school of yellow ones were really fun to follow. The group as a whole had numerous sea turtle sightings, but I couldn't seem to find one. But finally, just as our snorkel time was ending, I finally spotted this guy. Another trip highlight for sure. We headed to shore and had a bite to eat before getting a tour of this historic Hawaiian fishing village that once existed on this beach. It was really cool to learn a little bit more about the vibrant Hawaiian culture and rich history, particularly how intertwined with and respectful of the natural world it is. after the tour, we hopped back on board and headed back to our departure point. This experience may have been my favorite excursion of the trip, so big shout out to Blue Ocean Adventures. I definitely recommend checking out one of their tours if you find yourself on the island. By the time we made it back to shore, we had worked up an appetite, so we ventured over to Kalalau to try some musubi. I got deep-fried spam musubi, and oh my gosh, I could eat this a million more times. It was so good. We closed out the day back at our campsite with a drink on the beach and a beautiful rainbow at sunset. The next day, we all headed to Haena State Park, where our group split up for a choose-your-own-adventure day. Myself and a few others stayed at Ka Beach right near the park entrance and spent the morning relaxing and reading. After lounging for a while, we ventured over to Tunnels Beach, named for its underwater lava tunnels, in hopes of conditions being good for snorkeling. Unfortunately, it was a rainy day and the waves were quite intense, so we didn't venture out. Nevertheless, we were glad we checked it out, as it has probably the most gorgeous backdrop of any beach I've ever seen. While we had our beach day, Matt and the rest of our crew spent the morning hiking a section of the well-known Kalalau Trail. This trail is 22 miles in total and requires a permit to hike a majority of it. Our group trekked just over 9 miles round trip to Hanakapiai Falls.
Hey guys, Matt here. Just wanted to share a bit of my experience with this trail and Hanakapiai Falls. It's a strenuous hike. We recorded 9.3 miles with over 1,800 feet of elevation gain, and it takes most of the day. I would budget 45 minutes to an hour to spend at the falls since it's such a spectacular place to swim and have lunch. The plunge pool at the bottom of the falls is bigger than an Olympic-sized swimming pool and quite deep. There are rocks to jump off, and you can swim behind the falls, which I recommend doing. Overall, it was my favorite hike of the trip. The views and waterfall were incredible.
After taking in some breathtaking views and hopping in the water at the falls, they made the trek back and met up with Claire, Nick, and I in town at Tahiti Nui for some lunch. At this restaurant, they have a Mai Tai rated #1 by the Wall Street Journal and a Kahlua pork sandwich featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives, so we thought we had to give both a try, and they absolutely did not disappoint. After lunch and bopping around some shops, we headed back to camp for the evening. Here's a quick view for you guys of what it looks like to camp at Anini Beach. That evening, thanks to Jordan's incredible meal prep and planning, we made our own ahi poke bowls at our campsite and had the most delicious dinner on the beach, followed by an epic sunset to cap off an incredible first half of our trip to Kauai. We have plenty more in store on this adventure, so stick around for part 3. Thanks for watching.